Hello, planet Earth.
I'm back.
Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Preston L. Young, wishing you warm salutations and congratulations as always. You've made your way to the Buffyngton Post.
Kudos!
Today it's time for another retrospective recap and review, this time for Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 10, Issue number 5. It's New Rules, Part 5. So I started my YouTube channel. My first video was a review of issue number 6 of Season 10. And so from there, I went all through Season 10. I did Season 11 and 12, and I had gone back and done 8 and 9. And so this will be the completion of the post-Season 7, like Season 8 and onward comics for my channel. So, like, my collection is complete.
It's been a long time.
I am going to go back and catch up on the first few, I think, 5 or 6 issues of Angel and Faith Season 10 as well. That arc is Where the River Meets the Sea, so I will be going back to do that one as well.
We have to go back!
Now, my floppy is the variant cover by Rebecca Isaacs, who, you know, I just gush over all the time. And here in my trade, because I was missing, I think, issue number 4. Here in my trade, the other one that I took photos of as far as covers is this one with Spike and one of the day vamps, and I want to say this one's by Steve Morris. It looks very Morrissy, but I'm not really sure, because in the back of the book, I think this one is also a variant cover, the Spike one. Because I want to say that this is actually the,
A few moments later.
Oh, this is exclusive for San Diego Comic-Con, that's right. Because I remember seeing this one with Malachur behind Buffy and all that good stuff. And so, yeah, we got covers. We got covers, baby!
I don't give a damn.
But, of course, before we get into this...
Previously on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
A lot's been going on. At the end of Season 9, Angel and Faith, with the help of Sophronia, Lavinia, and Alistair, they brought Giles back from the dead, yay, but now he's like 12 years old, which is not so great, but yay, we still have Giles, but he's now like a cute little tween Giles body, and I love it. Also at the end of Season 9, you know, magic was all not there, and then Willow planted a new seed of wonder, so yay. But now the rules of magic are kind of like writing themselves, and that wacky vampire book that Giles plopped down in the very first episode of the show has gone blank, and now the rules of magic are writing themselves based on kind of the general consensus that everybody has kind of agreed upon. And so since people associate vampires with Dracula, they now have basically all of Dracula's powers, and since the, like, common consciousness has kind of taken in Twilight, the new vampires that have been made since this new Seed of Wonder, they not only have Dracula's powers, but they also have like the Twilight powers of we can go out into the daylight, and they're also like a lot harder to kill, which is the whole thing. So when these new shape-shifting go out in the day vampires first popped up, they thought, well, their powers are a lot like Dracula's, let's see if he knows what's going on. Dracula didn't know what was going on, but he decided to come back with Xander and Dawn to help suss out whatever the situation is. So what's going on with Xander and Dawn is Xander has all season long for these first 4 issues been feeling like Dawn's kind of disconnected from him and he doesn't really know what the friction's about. He thinks it's because, you know, he betrayed Buffy at the end of Season 9, but we found out in the last issue that that's not it. Dawn has actually been reset because, you know, she all disappeared because she was all made of magic, and so with magic gone, she, like, started to cease to exist and eventually, like, actually did. And then Buffy and Willow recreated her after the new Seed of Wonder was made, but now Dawn is kind of on a factory reset. She remembers her life, she remembers everything that happened to her, but she doesn't feel emotionally connected to that, and so her relationship with Xander is suffering because she knows that she and Xander are in love, but she doesn't feel that love, which is complicated. With all the new stuff that's been going on, Buffy and Willow haven't really had time to do anything with their personal lives except try and figure out how to deal with this, like, new magic situation that we're all having to deal with, which, you know, hello, it's crazy. Spike is in the mix, he's here, he's, like, back, and whatever. And now the other thing about Xander is not only is he going through these weird relationship issues with Dawn, but now that this new magic is out there, he's been seeing this, maybe it's a ghost of Anya, or maybe it's a figment of his imagination, and all of his time in Scooby Town has just finally made Xander go batshit crazy. We really don't know! So about Xander being crazy, you know, Dracula has this, like, wacky thrall that he can put on Xander whenever he wants to because of Buffy vs. Dracula, when he put him under his thrall, whatever. And so, yeah, that's what Dracula did. Dracula, he found out that this book of magic that's writing itself, he was like, well, why don't we just write down what the rules are, and then we'll be in charge. And everybody was like, no, we're not just gonna go willy-nilly writing rules into the magic book, because what are we, God? Well, Dracula got the book, he got Xander under his wacky thrall, he stole the book, and he decided to make himself into the most powerful vampire ever, and that inadvertently turned him into Malachur, the old one that we met down in the Deeper Well last season when we were all trying to, like, get magic back. So now, Dracula is Malachur, which is weird, but it's happening, and it's like, ah!
That's pretty much what you need to know, and so without further ado, let's jump into Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 10. It's issue number 5, New Rules, Part 5. Here we go.
Here we go.
The issue opens up with Buffy, Spike, and Willow trying their damnedest to, stop Dracula Malachor. I feel like there's a pun there. But anyway, he's getting real big. And somebody says, I don't remember him being this big, last time we saw him in the deeper well. But then we find out from Giles that apparently old ones can be as large or small as they wish. And so now that he's not in the confines of the deeper well, we get giant Malachor, which is scary. So because Dracula is, transforming into this gargantuan Malachor, the swanky hotel that he was in is starting to crumble around them, and Xander's like, oh, I have to help my master. And Dawn's like, you're not going to help anybody if we all get crushed to death in this hotel, so let's go. So then this maybe a ghost, maybe he's crazy vision of Anya comes back and is like, hey dude, I've been trying to talk to you, but the whole time that Dracula had you in his whammy, I couldn't talk to you. So like, here I am, I'm still here, we still have to deal with me. Ghost, maybe a ghost Anya, is telling Xander, you need to get your ass together because your master's gonna take out the whole freaking West Coast. Now meanwhile, Malachor's looking around at this new world. It's not got any old ones in it. It's got a lot more humans to eat. And so, less competition and more food. He's digging it. Buffy, Spike, and Willow are trying their damnedest to get rid of Malachor / Dracula. It's weird. It's fine. Dracula? Malacula? We'll figure it out.
You all sit tight for a minute.
We're still trying to get rid of Malachor, obviously, and Willow keeps throwing everything she knows at him, but apparently the bigger he gets, the more invulnerable he becomes, and nothing she's doing seems to work. So Willow decides to mystically FaceTime with Giles, who gives her the idea that, well, if Malachor, who created all of the vampires, if he gave them all of his strengths, it would seem to reason that he also gave them his weaknesses, like fire, stakes, holy objects, stuff like that, right? So we need to kind of find something big enough in scale to work on him since we don't have daylight. So Buffy notices that the Redwood investment building has a very large pointy point on the top of it, and so that's to scale. And she has the idea that, hey, maybe Willow can make it into a sacred object. But then they run into the problem of, well, if we make it a sacred object, how do we force him onto it to kill him? Because, hello, he's so big. And then Dawn says, ooh, you can make me a giant again. So this is what we do. Willow makes Dawn into a giant again, and she starts embiggening all of a sudden, while Willow flies off to figure out how to make the Redwood investment building into a sacred object so that we can kill him. So yay, the return of Giant Dawn. And she's like, hey big boy, come and get me. And then so he does. He starts flying at her and she's like, dude, nobody told me he could fly. And she starts running for the hills. So is it a ghost? Anya convinces Xander that he's the only one that can solve this problem by, writing the rule into the book that's going to fix this because Giles and Andrew aren't coming up with anything. And she says that the reason it has to be Xander is because he claims to love Dracula. He claims that Dracula's his friend, not just his master. And so he can stop this by finding a solution for everyone because he cares about everyone involved, including Dracula. So Xander grabs the book and they run off toward the investment building to do some stuff. So we get this great scene with Malachor flying after Giant Dawn and she's running for her life and Willow flies in with this priest to bless and sanctify the Redwood building so that it becomes a holy object so that we can smash him on it. Yay. Now, the whole time that this is going on, Buffy and Spike are still on Malachor, and so right when he's about to get to Dawn, they smash his eyes all to grossness, and he gets blinded. And then Giant Dawn smashes him down onto the pointy point of the investment building, and he goes all dusty. Yay, but then she feels not so hot. Dawn's okay. Willow warned her that changing size like that would be a bit much on her system, and so she, ungiantifies her and gets her to safety, but she's fine. So you know how Dracula doesn't die? Well, yeah, even though it was Malachor, it's still technically Dracula, and so Dracula, respawns real quick, and the same transformation starts to happen to him again, so oh fuck, what are we gonna do? So apparently the whole Dracula dies and comes back all the time thing can be undone if you chop his head off and burn the head and body separately, and then we won't have any more Dracula to worry about, but we like Dracula, so it kinda sucks, but we're gonna chop his fucking head off. Whoop-de-doo, Xander comes in with the book to save the day, and he writes into the book that Dracula's amazing willpower allowed for him to overcome the Malachor present, and he was restored to the way he was. Yay, Xander fixes Dracula, and kind of saves the day. He also writes in the book that he's no longer under Dracula's whammy, because if he wants to be Xander's friend, Dracula has to respect him, and it doesn't mean anything if it's fake. And we get this real poignant panel of Xander talking to Dracula, but talking about his relationship with Dawn because of the whole, what's going on with our relationship, girl. So Dracula's gonna go home to Transylvania, and he and Xander are gonna keep in touch because they're bestie buddies. Maybe there's something gay going on there. We don't know. But Dracula's be careful with that book. It seems real dangerous. You guys better figure shit out, because he's basically from beneath you it devours. It's very ominous, this whole book situation. What are we gonna do about it? It's crazy. So, back at Xander and Dawn's apartment, we have the situation where, what are we going to do with this damn crazy book that writes reality all by its damn self? Because now it's up to them to, write the rules, because what else are they going to do? They can't just let magic just run amok and write its own rules, because, hello, crazy. It's crazy. So, naturally, we turn to Giles, who, is a watcher, and there aren't really any other watchers. It's not like there's a watcher's council who could come in and, stamp down the rules. But, Giles is hey, I can't even, keep my attention span. I want to get back to playing the video game. Maybe old me would have been able to do that, but, now that I'm in this 12-year-old body, I'm kind of useless when it comes to, sticking to things. And Buffy goes, oh, well, Willow, you should do it. You know all about magic. And Willow's no, you don't want to give the recovering magic addict, the keys to the kingdom. You're going to make me God on Earth. Not a good idea. And so, what to do about the book? So then, our good friend D'Hoffryn comes in, and he's girl, let me help you. I have a whole magical council, and we know all about magic and the history of it, and what worked in the past, and all this good stuff. Give me the book. I'd like it, please. Thank you. Xander's didn't your whole magical council kind of get, mostly destroyed down in the deeper well last season? And D'Hoffryn's don't worry, we're reforming the council. Sure, we're adding some new people, but we'll be fine. And we find out at this point that even D'Hoffryn can't see maybe a ghost Anya. So, she's there? Question mark? We don't know. Xander sees her. So anyway, D'Hoffryn's just gonna take the book and go. And Buffy's oh hell no, you're not taking this book. And D'Hoffryn's all you just sat around and talked about how you can't handle the responsibility of writing the new rules of magic, so let me take it off your hands. She goes, oh hell no. You and your whack job magical council caused a bunch of fucking problems for everybody involved last season, and I don't think that I can handle the responsibility. But between me and my awesome Scooby friends, we can handle this shit. I believe in us. I mean, I believe in myself very much, but I believe in my team. So D'Hoffryn's gonna go, but Xander's excuse me, could I talk to you for just a second? So he tells D'Hoffryn, I've been seeing this wacky, maybe it's a ghost, maybe I'm crazy Anya. And D'Hoffryn's well, I don't see anything. But so we're not really sure what's going on with this Anya thing. But Anya says, well, why don't you worry a little bit less about your dead girlfriend and go and deal with the one that's still, alive. So, in the last issue, we found out that Dawn had gone on, like, factory reset mode, but Xander didn't because he was all off with Dracula being, woo! And so, we finally get this conversation, like, Xander and Dawn sit down, they talk about the problems, and she explains to him, like, this is what's going on with me since the new magic all kind of made me weird. And he's like, damn, that sucks. And so, they talk and talk and talk, and they're gonna take some time apart because, like, that's what they need to do because, it was a little weird at first when Xander and Dawn got together, even though she was over the age of 18. They had gone through all this crazy stuff, and a lot of people thought it was real weird, but I thought it was kind of organic. But now it's not so much, like, organic because she doesn't even feel like herself. She doesn't know what that means. So, we're gonna take a break. So they talk about all this stuff and how, they just need to, like, take time apart and see if things are ever going to come naturally to them. And so then Dawn just goes and kisses Xander. And then while she's kissing him, she opens her eyes. And then he opens his eyes. And they're just kind of looking at each other. And they realize, like, this isn't going to work. So she leaves. It's super sad. So, Buffy and Spike are kind of seeing what happened between Xander and Dawn from a nearby rooftop. Not that that's spying Buffy and Spike, but whatever. So anyway, Spike is commending Buffy on standing up to the Hoffren because, she's right. Like, she's got the whole gang. Spike and Andrew and Xander and Dawn and Giles and Willow and the whole gang's all here. And, he says, after all you've been through with your dad being a piece of shit and your mom dying and, like, your high school being on hell, it's a wonder you're not in the fucking loony bin. So, like, you can deal with this, and I believe in you. And she's like, gee, thanks. You're pretty swell. So Spike's like, yeah, I believe in you. And let's hope we don't all get killed by the masses of demons who are going to come and want to get that book from you, huh? It's going to be a little crazy. Maybe I should learn to shut the fuck up. And Buffy goes, how about we start right now? And that's where we end the issue. So, I really like this issue. I don't think I like it as much as I liked issue number 4 with the whole 3-beat of the going all Dark Willow. I love that joke. It's fabulous. Like, let's just say it's fabulous. It's a wonderful joke. I really like this book, though. I like that, even though we don't really know about the truth about Ghost Anya, is she a ghost? Like, what even is she? Even though we don't know it, it is nice to have her around just because, it's fun. It's Anya. We like her. We'll keep her. Apparently, we'll keep her, even if nobody else can see her.
How am I not myself?
How am I not myself? How am I not myself? How am I not myself? How am I not myself?
And so, I like the idea that Anya sees that Xander has the potential to help everyone because he cares about everyone involved. I like that she sees, your relationship with Dracula is super weird and creepy, but it is your relationship with Dracula. So get in there and take charge and take care of the people that you say you care for.
Get your shit together!
So I like that. It's kind of a meta moment, too. Because Anya tells Xander that he's the only one that can help with this situation by writing in the book. And who is our co-author of this issue but Nicholas Brendan himself, Xander Harris. So, yeah. So that's a little meta moment that I kind of like and I kind of don't like because I have my own personal issues with Nick Brendan, but we'll talk about that at a different time.
That bitch is loony.
Anyway, I thought it was worth mentioning at the very least. I like the idea that not only did Malachur give his strengths to the vampires that he created, but also his weaknesses. Like, that's a nifty idea, Giles. That's why we keep you around. That's why you got the Slayer, so good on you.
I made a lot of these points earlier, but it's fine. No one listens to
we don't have a whole lot of Willow here, but I like the idea that Willow has to actually make the building into a sacred object. That's pretty nifty. The Giant Dawn of it all. Oh, I love Giant Dawn. I loved her in season 8. People got annoyed by it, but I think it's great. I think it's rock'em sock'em. There's not a lot of Giant Dawn that I don't like. I love it all. And the idea that she had to be like, oh, you could just make me giant again. I've done it before. I know what it's like, sort of, even though she doesn't feel connected to those memories, but whatever. We'll deal with that later.
That's a really deep question.
It was fun. I love seeing Giant Dawn. It's my favorite thing. It's not my favorite thing, but it's probably my favorite Dawn thing, if I'm gonna be honest. I just remember her going through Tokyo. It's hilarious. What else? We don't have a lot of Andrew here, but we don't really need a lot of Andrew yet in this season. We'll do some very fun stuff with Andrew throughout season 10. No spoilers. I am going to actually, after my outro sequence, we're going to talk about spoilers for season 10, like the whole shebang. We're going to talk about some stuff. But as far as this issue, I like the ideas in it. I like that when they kill Malachor, you know, he was technically Dracula, and so he comes back. So that was like, oh, of course, because Dracula always comes back. I've seen your movies, etc., etc. So I like all that.
I like you.
I like the reintroduction of D'Hoffryn, because it's like at the end of last season, he was helping us and all this good stuff, but he is a demon at the end of the day. He's a vengeance demon. He's like the vengeance demon. And so him coming back and saying, oh, remember me? I'm this like super powerful demon and I should have the book. It makes a lot of sense for the world that we're creating here. And, you know, our new rule book. Get it? New rules. So I like that, and I like Buffy standing up to him. She's like, look, you know, you may know a lot of stuff, but you're a demon, and you're going to want the world to work however you would like for it to work. So I'm not going to trust you. Gay.
You talk too much. Homegirl, you never shut up. Goddamn.
So that's all pretty nifty. I like the idea that that Giles can't be responsible for writing the book because he's got no attention span. The Kid Giles stuff is fabulous. I love the Kid Giles stuff. It opened this whole new door that I don't think any of us were expecting. Like at the end of Angel and Faith season 9, not at the very end, but you know what I'm talking about, like when they actually resurrect Giles and he's a child. It's so much fun. It opens up so many possibilities, and like, we'll talk about that in the spoiler section, the stuff I don't like about Kid Giles, which is nothing, because I love all the Kid Giles things, but we'll talk about some stuff, okay?
Just listen.
There's not a lot for Spike to do here, except make Buffy feel good about herself at the end.
I understand with perfect clarity exactly what you are. You're a hell of a woman. You're the one, Buffy.
And you know, I recently watched Checkpoint last week, and I found that this issue is a lot like the episode Checkpoint from season 5, where the Watchers Council comes in to kind of see about Buffy's methods and see if she's like worthy of their information and all this crap. It reminded me a lot of that, because we've got the Buffy and Spike relationship. Like, it's there. They're not a couple, but they're not fighting. And so there are shades of that in here, which I can appreciate. And there's also the issue of this insurmountable force that is Malachor, and Glory for Checkpoint. This thing that is just beyond comprehension and beyond being stopped. But when it comes down to it, D'Hoffryn is very much like the Quentin Travers. Buffy comes in and says, you know what? I may not know all the things, but I'm the guy in charge. Like, I'm the fucking Slayer. Like, give me my respect, because, sure, you may know a lot. You may know all the things, but you're not the one in charge. It's my book. Like, it's my deal.
See, I've had a lot of people talking at me the last few days. Everyone just lining up to tell me how unimportant I am. And I finally figured out why. Power. I have it. They don't. This bothers them.
So I really like all that. It really did remind me a lot of Checkpoint, and just the themes. And as far as like season 5 goes, I feel like Checkpoint is a perfect episode of season 5 of Buffy. It's not my favorite episode of Buffy. I don't think it's a perfect episode of Buffy, but I think it's a perfect episode of season 5. It really shows you everything that we're going to be dealing with for the rest of the season. And while I don't think that this is a perfect issue of season 10, it really does do the same thing. What are we going to be dealing with for the rest of the season?
What are you doing?
Dawn and her emotional problems. Big point for the rest of the season. young Giles not being up to the task and having to find out what his task is. That's something we're going to be doing all season. Spike and Buffy's relationship. What is that? Where are we going with it? What does it mean that they're back together and on like a good page? We're going to be dealing with that a lot in season 10. Ghost Anya. Is it a ghost Anya? Is it not a ghost Anya? Is not a ghost Anya bigger than a bread box? We don't know.
It's common sense, really.
That's something that we're going to be dealing with for the rest of the season. Andrew really being in the mix. We're going to be dealing with that for the rest of the season. The new rules. The book that we're working with. This is setting up everything for season 10 that we will be dealing with in depth. And so in that regard, I think that this really is a good template for what we're going to be dealing with in the future.
Okay, that story makes a lot more sense now.
You know, I don't talk about the art a lot because honestly, I don't read a lot of comic books. I own a lot of Buffy and Angel comic books, but I don't read a lot of comic books outside of the Buffy canon. I really don't read any at all, like, if I'm going to be honest. I've read a few X-Men runs, but I'm not reading... I didn't read the Hickman run that just finished last week, I think.
You're so useful sitting here with all of your books. You're really a lot of help.
And so when it comes to the art, I don't feel like I have a lot of... I don't think I have a leg to stand on to really talk about the art, so I kind of avoid it. But I will say, when I was going back and taking my photos of this issue and just reading it through all together, you know, we've got Rebecca Isaacs and Christos Gage, who did a fantastic job with Angel and Faith Season 9, which I will still say that Angel and Faith Season 9 is probably the best Buffy book that's out there. Like, ask your questions, we'll talk about it.
Angel was good.
But I really do. And so to have them in this season, to have them take over this season of Buffy, it's nice. It's really nice because they have a great understanding of the characters and their voices, and I think that they are on par with Joss as far as capturing the essence of these characters. But I found it to be really jarring, particularly in this issue, that we're seeing Buffy and Dawn and everybody in the style of Rebecca Isaacs, because it looks so much like Angel and Faith Season 9 that it's really jarring, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It just, for a moment, it really took me out, because I'm looking at these images that I associate with Angel and Faith Season 9. And of course, Angel and Faith Season 10, they got... I know Victor Gischler... Was Gischler... I really don't know. Did Gischler draw or write? I think Gischler wrote Season 10 of Angel and Faith.
I don't give a damn.
But the art over on Angel and Faith Season 10 is wonderful. It's very like photorealistic. They do a great job over there. But it's just it really is jarring to see the Angel and Faith Season 9 style in Season 10 of Buffy. It took some getting used to, I will say, because George is Genty. Like, look at the back of this book, it's George is Genty. And like when I went as Willow for Halloween one year, I took this image of Willow. I probably took this very issue, and I said, I had like a red wig, and I told the hair girl to cut it like this. I needed it to look like this, because George Genty's Buffy is my Buffy, like even more so than the show Buffy. Like, this is my Buffy. There's a style that he has and a way of capturing the characters that I just love. And don't get me wrong, I love what Rebecca Isaacs does for the rest of the run of Buffy, but it's just different, and it does take a little bit of getting used to. But overall, everybody looks great. She knows what she's doing. That's why she has the job and not me, because I don't know shit about art. I couldn't draw a turkey with my hand. You know what I'm saying?
English was my major in college.
But yeah, it's a good issue. Again, it sets up everything that we're going to be talking about, and overall, it just it's a lot of fun. And Buffy should be fun, right? Like, Buffy should be fun. I think that's why people really didn't like Season 9 so much, is because it just felt not fun a lot of the time. I love it. I think Season 9's great, but I'm a Buffy apologist all around.
Everything from start to finish.
But yeah, this is fun Buffy, and we like when Buffy's having fun, because, like, she's our hero, and we would like for her not to be mopey all the time. Don't get me wrong. I like me some sad Buffy, and I like me some bloody Buffy. Give me that bloody Buffy, baby. I'm here for it, bitch. But, you know, I would like for her to smile. I like Buffy. I would like for her to like her life a little bit. And here, you know, she's getting to like her life. She's talking and saying, all these people around me, I like them. They're going to help me. We're here for each other. Fuck you, DeHoffrin. So I like all that. It's a good issue. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Season 10, Issue number 5. New Rules, Part 5. Check it out.
Darling, take a look around. There's a lot to see.
Yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I want to talk about today as far as this issue is concerned. Again, stay tuned after my outro sequence. What is this? Yeah, stay tuned after my outro sequence. We're going to talk about kind of spoilers for the rest of the season and who I think the best big bad of all of Buffy is.
I wanna know that.
So, anyway, aside from that, that's pretty much all I've got for you guys today. I hope you're having a great 2019 so far, everybody. You can come right back here to the Buffyngton Post anytime for Buffy the Vampire Slayer reviews, Angel and Faith reviews, Buffyverse discussions on the other Slayers, Angel and Frederia cruising through time. Check out my sketches. I think they're fun. They're playlists. Check out my playlist. I got a bunch.
Enter all ye who seek knowledge.
I'm going to talk about the OA. I don't know if you people watch the OA. I don't know if you love it like I do, but I'm in love with the OA. And, you know, they said that it was canceled. But I've got a big theory that I really want to talk about with you guys. So that'll be the next thing I do. I'm going to try and pump that out this week because I'm very excited about my ideas. And other OA fans that I've talked to are very excited about my ideas too. So we're going to talk about it. I love the OA. But anyway, have yourself a great day today. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
I'm done.
Alright, spoiler talk. Spoiler alert. Oh wait, I have a thing for that. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. This video will be full of spoilers. Spoiler alert. Okay. So yeah, oh, season 10 of Buffy, you're so good. You're probably the best comic season of Buffy proper. You probably are. Definitely are. Season 10's where it's at.
This woman?
Season 11, it's got some real good ideas in it, but it was so political and heavy-handed, and there's like, oh my god, it was miserable for the most part. I was just miserable. It's so terrible. Not the book itself, but like the circumstances. And so it doesn't hit the mark for me. It's not, you know, what I just said about Buffy being fun and like having fun with Buffy. It's not that at all. It's actually kind of depressing. But
well, causing pain sounds really cool, I know, but turns out it's really upsetting.
But yeah, I think DeHoffrin is the best villain that we get in all of Buffy. I think the first evil is a great idea. The execution's not great, but the first evil I think is a fantastic idea, and on paper, it should be the best villain. but it's not. I really think it's D'Hoffryn. And I think it's the slow burn of D'Hoffryn. Because D'Hoffryn, you know, he comes in, and, like, just in this first issue, he comes in, he's like, hey, let me get that book. And Buffy's like, no.
Trash.
D'Hoffryn pops back up, and he's like, you still having trouble with that book? And Buffy's like, yeah, you know, we can work together. It's fine. It's D'Hoffryn. He's a demon, but it's fine. So, and we like D'Hoffryn. Ever since we first met D'Hoffryn, we have liked him. He's great. Well, not the first time, because in Doppelgangland, he's not great. I don't think they knew that they were going to get as much mileage out of D'Hoffryn as they did. But I find D'Hoffryn's arc in Season 10 to be absolutely fantastic. He's a criminal mastermind. He's really scary at the end of the day, because you think he's your friend, even though he's a demon. Like, don't get me wrong, we know you're a demon, but we like you.
It did get a little sexy, didn't it?
Yeah, though you look like you, we think you like us too, because we're a family and you're one of us now. And it really does feel like D'Hoffryn is kind of part of the gang, almost. And then the 360 that he does, he created Not a Ghost on Yonka 3.0. Oh, D'Hoffryn's a fantastic villain. And then where we get with D'Hoffryn at the end of the season, it's so good. Oh, and you know, at the end of the season, we get Dracula back and everything, and it's this week. Oh God, we come all the way full circle with D'Hoffryn, and I feel like it's very, very smartly written and incredibly well done. When it was revealed that D'Hoffryn was our big bad, I was like, oh my God, it's crazy, but it makes all the sense. As people will tell you,
please no.
Oh, I do love the mayor. But the mayor's just not as diabolical as D'Hoffryn. They've got the same kind of congenial attitude, but D'Hoffryn is just leagues above the mayor, in my opinion. And I love the mayor in Faith. Like, Season 3 is probably my favorite, because, you know, the mayor, he's charming, he's great, fabulous.
Exactly.
And a lot of people like Glory. I think Glory is great on paper. I think Claire Kramer is a piss-poor actress. I honestly think that if they hadn't cast Charisma Carpenter as Cordelia so early on, I think she would have made a perfect Glory. I think she really would have gotten the nuances there that Claire Kramer just can't pull off. Like, I'm sorry, but you're not my favorite Claire Kramer. I think you're great. I love what you do for the fandom. I love that you moderate, like, different cons and stuff like that. Great. Go do what you're good at. I don't think it's acting. At least not as Glory. Glory, I really like her on paper. I think if you were reading Buffy Season 5 as a comic book or as a novelization, Glory would be terrifying. And Claire Kramer just doesn't scare me. I don't think she goes to that crazy place that we really need her to go to. And it's a shame, because again, on paper, the idea of Glory is really good. It's great. It's good stuff.
Psychotic. I was shooting for sultry.
Just doesn't work for me. D'Hoffryn is fabulous. The whole Not a Ghost on Yonka 3.0 thing, crazy. Just to not only to get his favorite vengeance demon back, but also he has a mole inside the Scoobies that's keeping tabs on everybody the whole time.
Time to get buck wild.
He's a criminal mastermind, and I love him. I think he's the best villain. And you can tell people I said so. I'll tell everybody. I don't care. Oh yeah, but yeah. Also, the thing that I was going to say that I didn't like about Kid Giles is the fact that they fucking got rid of him in Season 12. Why? Kid Giles is the best thing fucking ever. It gave the opportunity for him to grow up and continue Buffy's legacy well after she had died, because he's, like, literally half her age at that point. So, why did we get rid of Kid Giles? I guess just to make it seem like the final season was like, oh, everybody's right back here where we left you. If you want to pick up the final 4 shitty episodes. Season 12 has problems. I liked the ending. Don't like getting rid of Kid Giles. We probably should do a full Season 10, like, real spoiler talk, but I want to get somebody on here to talk about it with me, because, it's just so hard. I live in Montgomery, Alabama. People are not reading Buffy the Vampire Slayer where I live. And, I don't know. I talked to... I don't want to count my chickens, so never mind. But anyway, yeah, I really just wanted to, you know, get on here and ride D'Hoffryn's dick a little bit, because I do think he's a fantastic villain. I think the season is just made so much better by his presence and the big turn we get at the end. Oh, it's great. It's good stuff. Oh, and he betrays all the other demons because he wants to be God. He wants to be God. And I mean, you know, who among us doesn't? But he's really good at becoming God. So, like, good for you, DeHoffren. I love you. Will you marry me? And wreak bloody vengeance on all my enemies?
That bitch is gonna get a beat down.
Alright, guys, I'm gonna call it. I've recorded like 50 minutes already. So I've got some editing to do after trivia night. Yeah. Love ya. Bye.
Get out. Get out, get out, get out! Get out, get out, get out! Get out, get out, get out!
Welcome to my YouTube channel. We're at 90K. Oh, wait. No, we're not. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Hush, dog. Here we go. Hush, please.
Looks like you've wasted my time.